You want to buy a YouTuber plush but you're broke and don't want to spend $50 on a plush that looks like this? Well, the quinnamon plush is available now. If you want a plush like this for yourself, go to the link in the description and buy one. But be quick! The quinnamon plush is only available for a limited time. So make your way over to Onage and adopt one today before they're dead and gone forever. This has been an ad by Pappy Schmappish LLC. I require all royalties.
Minecraft YouTubers. You know them, you love them, they probably love you too if you're under the age of 18. Minecraft is now 15 years old, and it's baffling to think that there are people on the internet younger than Minecraft is. When Minecraft first came out, YouTube was just beginning to figure out its identity, becoming one of the most popular sources of online entertainment and the most efficient way to share videos either with your friends or with an audience. To say that Minecraft's release was a game changer for the platform would be the biggest understatement of the century. Minecraft has consistently been the most viewed game on YouTube practically ever since its release, and is one of the few games that serves as practically timeless. Despite the fact that it released such a long time ago, Minecraft is still incredibly popular with content creators, gamers, and general consumers. Minecraft and YouTube would help each other out substantially, Minecraft driving more people to YouTube, and YouTube driving more people to Minecraft. Stampy Longhead, popular MMOs,
What's up, dudes? It's
DanTDM, Captain Sparkles, Skydoes Minecraft, and countless others were staples in the community back then, and regardless of where they may be now, these people undeniably brought forth one of the most impactful communities of content creators ever conceived: Minecraft YouTubers. A Minecraft YouTuber is so much more than just a YouTuber who plays Minecraft or covers Minecraft. The term Minecraft YouTuber is more about what it represents. It all comes down to your connections, your achievements, and in some cases, even your genuine gaming talent. Anyone can be a YouTuber who makes Minecraft videos, but unless you're buddy-buddy with pre-established popular content creators, or aren't allowed near schools, you aren't a Minecraft YouTuber. These original Minecraft YouTubers would develop a kind of fandom surrounding the group of people. Fan art and fan works were created at such a rapid pace depicting all of these YouTubers in various different poses, scenarios, and environments. But as all things do, the popularity of these Minecraft YouTubers would dwindle, especially when they would have to move on to other forms of content, and even move on with their own lives, having families, and making new memories off the internet. It didn't help that most of them were also probably on a list. Even with Minecraft still being a popular game, things just weren't the same without these content creators making the same things they used to. Luckily, the Minecraft community would find itself a savior. A very popular content creator who could likely be credited to reviving the game's YouTube presence entirely. On June 21st, 2019, an unlikely hero would arise, changing the Minecraft community forever. Who was this hero, you may ask? Well, just a small, unknown creator known as...
how's it going, man?
In 2019, PewDiePie would begin a brand new series on his channel, documenting his Minecraft journey as someone who had only played Minecraft back in its alpha days. For all the people who aren't OGs, Minecraft has always been a rapidly changing game, and if you gave modern Minecraft to someone who hadn't played the game in over 10 years, they would be very, very confused. This concept, combined with the most popular gamer on the platform, led to the creation of what is, to me, one of the most entertaining Minecraft Let's Plays to ever crawl onto the platform. Felix's amusing commentary, combined with his utter cluelessness,
What the hell is this? Why is there cactus?
Made something truly special, and as he obtained animal companions throughout his journey, discovered how to build a flourishing base, and took to naming practically everything he found, a fanbase began to arise as people realized that the genuine entertainment they felt from the series felt akin to the very same entertainment they all felt years ago watching other Minecraft YouTubers. Sven the dog, Watersheep, the Council of Watersheep, the IKEA Tower, the Giant Meatball, the Evil Council of Beetroot. PewDiePie had successfully created his own Minecraft series filled to the brim with iconic and memorable locations and characters, almost as if it was a television series. There was a genuine story to be followed as Felix's pets would die or his base would evolve. It was almost like a role-playing series from back in the day, but there was a sense of maturity to it that acknowledged the stupidity of the concept, an ironic twist that stemmed into a genuine community. Among this community would be a designated group of people who were invested in the idea of finding out the seed of Felix's Minecraft world, as he hadn't made this seed public. One person in particular would take to searching for the seed, and with a small group of people, would be successful in doing so. He would quickly gain encouragement and was flooded with support after revealing that he felt quite bad for revealing the PewDiePie seed. The support encouraged him to continue making content surrounding Minecraft, and less than 4 years later, this YouTuber would go on to have over 30 million subscribers, the most horrid fan base ever conceived, and will go down as one of the most infamous creators in all of history.
Hi. It feels so awkward. Talking to a camera for the first time. Hi. My name is...
I like young girls. I like them 15, 14, 16.
Dream's career would tumble upwards, reaching a peak at the very start of 2020. With most people confined to their homes, many people turned to his brand new and original Minecraft Manhunt YouTube series for entertainment. And Dream and his friends would go down in Minecraft history for better or for worse. Throughout 2020, however, there was one aspect of Dream's career and online life that would spiral so far out of control that it started to impact the climate of the real world as well, change the lives of millions, and would lead to unspeakable consequences. Have you ever heard of DreamNotFound?
It says DreamNotFound. Okay, anyway, okay, that's part of the mod, but okay, that's actually not part of the mod. That's part of... Okay, I didn't do that.
Dream, also known as Dream Was Taken, or Clay, practically started his content creator career alongside a very close friend of his, being George Davidson, or George Not Found. Dream and George vaguely knew of each other through mutual friends and word of mouth, but they wouldn't meet until 2016, when they would encounter each other on Bad Boy Halo's Minecraft server, Munchie MC. Dream was an admin on the server, whereas George was a coder. The two first interacted when Dream asked George to assist him with a plugin code. However, George ignored this request, leading Dream to pick up coding himself. Although a rather amusing first interaction, the two would eventually start to talk and would become as close as two best friends could be over the years. The first instance of the two of them interacting publicly would come in the form of a post made to Dream's Twitter account with the caption, "It's Big Brain Time," posted on July 22nd, 2019. The next would come in the form of Dream's channel intro, an intro narrated by George.
Yo guys, it's Dream here, back again with a brand new epic video. This is my new channel trailer, so make sure to clap that freaking like button.
On September 14th, Dream would post his first video to feature George, Last to Leave Circle in Minecraft Wins $1,000 challenge. The title is very self-explanatory, featuring the YouTubers George Not Found, Sapnap, Shadow Girl, Skeppy, Antfrost, and A6D participating in a Minecraft challenge to win money. In the end, Skeppy and Antfrost agreed to share the prize, and the video wouldn't highlight too much of Dream and George's friendship in particular. Their next interaction was definitely one of the first red flags, being a simple comment from Dream on a video George posted in which he uses his foot to play Minecraft. The comment simply reads, "This is what I subscribed for." Dream would reach 200,000 subscribers in only 3 months, an incredibly impressive feat for someone as amateur as he was at the time, and to celebrate, he would create a video in which he would mine diamonds with fortune 200,000. This was his first ever upload that exclusively featured George. On October 14th, one of the most influential videos of all time would be released onto Dream's platform, Minecraft, but the X-ray is always on. Despite not seeming like a very important video, this video would be the start of one of the most influential content creator groups to ever curse the platform, the Dream Not Founding Fathers of sorts. The beginning of the end, or more so, the beginning of eternity. Although Dream and George's friendship frequently took the spotlight, they wouldn't have been complete at the time without the third member of their trio, a mutual friend known as Sapnap, someone who Dream had been friends with for a while now. This video would be the first to feature the three of them, as well as the first to feature a format that would quickly become commonplace for Dream's channel. Videos of Dream, George, and Sapnap traversing a game of Minecraft, typically trying to beat it with some kind of amusing handicap. This formula would prove to be immensely successful, leading to the creation of the Dream Team, the name for the friend group that consisted of Dream, George, and Sapnap. Dream would continue to post these kinds of videos, occasionally swapping out the co-hosts, yet always keeping George. It was very obvious that Dream and George were really good friends, joking together on Twitter, constantly being in calls with each other, appearing in every single one of each other's videos. Even their friends would make jokes about how close the two were. But of course, with any up-and-coming content creator, there is an unfortunate consequence to being too close with any of your friends, a consequence that we've seen take place time and time again. December 26, 2019, a seemingly harmless joke between friends would be made. A joke that would change the trajectory of Dream and George's life forever. In December of 2019, Dream and DreamNotFound would discover and acknowledge that their fans started to ship the two of them together, meaning they like to imagine that the two of them were in a romantic relationship.
Ah! Dream! Don't touch me there, Dream! Dream, stop it, don't! No, Dream, you're breaking blocks, stop.
The concept of YouTuber or celebrity shipping doesn't seem to have a documented starting place in time, although it's likely that speculation between celebrities' relationships have existed for as long as celebrities themselves. As far as YouTuber ships go, I firmly believe that the two most infamous examples likely responsible for popularizing the concept were Fan, the ship between YouTubers Dan and Phil, and Septiplier, the ship between Jacksepticeye and Markiplier. So sorry to everyone currently mourning. Dan and Phil predate Septiplier by a few years, being arguably the most popular YouTube ship ever. Believing that these two very real people were in a relationship and treating them like fictional characters was commonplace, and while a few people definitely found it strange, not enough people were scrutinizing enough towards these shippers to make it not the common climate. Ship art, fanfiction, and my personal favorite, ship edits, were thrown around by the second, only increasing with the rise of Markiplier x Jacksepticeye. Unfortunately, while Dan and Phil weren't deterred too heavily by the shipping, Markiplier and Jacksepticeye's friendship would swiftly dwindle due to the discomfort caused by graphic ship art. YouTuber ships, more often than not, would often end up making the participants extremely uncomfortable, even to the point where they're scared to publicly interact. The fact that people were going into 2020 beginning to genuinely ship Dream and George could mean disastrous things for their friendship. Despite this, however, Dream would hit 1 million subscribers in his first real year of posting on YouTube. Things could only go up from here. The new year would start off strongly for the pair, with Dream posting his first ever Minecraft Manhunt video, a video in which Dream would attempt to speedrun Minecraft whilst DreamNotFound would hunt him down and try to kill him. The video was an instant hit, with people demanding more episodes and absolutely devouring the original twist on Minecraft speedrunning. The series would bring out another side of Dream and George's friendship, a friendly, competitive flame that made for admittedly rather entertaining content. Minecraft Manhunt videos began to develop a genius formula that quickly won over both the algorithm and the viewers, and would develop several staples of the newly developing Dream fanbase, such as the trance music for racing speedrun song, the "Oh Dream" joke,
Oh, Dream!
I'm on him, he's running.
and of course, the insane clutches that Dream would perform, typically revolving around Dream falling from a massive height and stopping his fall with either the classic water bucket, or in some cases, even completely new original clutches that were so impressive many people believed them to be staged. January alone would see the release of over a dozen videos across both Dream and George's channels. Fans began creating compilations of their favorite moments shared between the two, and although most of them looked at the relationship more as good friends, there were still a few shippers. 2020 was truly looking to be their year, however no one could have possibly predicted what would happen next. Unless you are literally less than 4 years old, you immediately know what I'm talking about. In March of 2020, the big bad illness would start to spread worldwide, and just about every single public school and workplace would shut down and promptly be moved online. Entertainment websites saw a massive influx in daily users, YouTube being no exception. People who had nothing to do, especially people who would otherwise be attending classes, would flock to the site and watch the first thing that caught their eye. Dream knew this. He already had an extensive amount of knowledge on the algorithm, and would only continue to use this knowledge to further his career. Thanks to COVID, Dream and his friends were able to put their everything into content. While December of 2019 would mark the first appearance of a flirtatious joke between the duo, many people often believe that the birth of DreamNotFound was on March 31st, when George would simply tweet out this: "Happy to announce that Dream was taken and I are getting married in 2021. That's my British accent, my bad. The creation of this tweet led to thousands of people beginning to genuinely start shipping the two of them, and what had become a small subsection of their community would quickly become an ever-growing symbiote. March is also, as far as I'm aware, the first month that fanfiction would start to appear on websites such as Archive of Our Own. However, I'm unsure if there is any work predating this on Wattpad, as I don't know how to use Wattpad and refuse to learn. April would see an even larger increase in videos posted, to the point where they were coming out almost every other day to millions of views. Around this time, George and Dream would stream more often on places like Twitch, reading pretty much all of their donations and answering any questions in them. There exist countless clips of viewers donating and asking questions relating to DreamNotFound, only for Dream or George to get immediately flustered by it. As far as I'm aware, April marks the earliest known occurrence of one of these incidents. On April 23rd, Dream and George would participate in a Minecraft Ultimate Tag Challenge. George would end up victorious, winning a grand prize of $1,000 and, more importantly, Dream's mother's phone number. George asked the comment section what he should text to Dream's mom, to which the overwhelming response was to send her a message saying, "Hi, this is your son's boyfriend." He would text Dream's mother later on the livestream. However, there is one more incredibly important event in Dream's career that I need to bring attention to. With Dream and George starting to stream more regularly on Twitch, they wanted to create a survival world where they could continuously play on stream together and invite a few friends as well. They wanted to create what is known as an SMP, a survival multiplayer world. Minecraft SMPs have always been pretty common with small groups of friends. However, a group of content creators creating their own world for people to watch in on was something that had been on the rise for about a year at that point. On the 1st of March 2019, creators C-Scoop and Call Me Carson would create SMP Live.
Get in the goddamn cock shed.
Wait, I'm sorry. Can you repeat that? I can't fucking understand.
While obviously not being the first survival multiplayer server to exist, SMP Live is often credited as the revival of this type of content and the modernization of Minecraft YouTubers. The server would have dozens of big names playing and streaming decently often, and stream donors were even allowed and encouraged to pit creators on the server against each other. It ended in December of 2019, being practically replaced with SMP Earth, a server with a world meant to be a 1 to 3,000 scale replica of the real-life Earth founded by Wilbur Soot, Josh A20, and Chibble Tipple. The server, much like SMP Live, was extremely successful, although it would close on April 11th of 2019. At the time of SMP Live closing, Dream was arguably one of, if not the most popular figures in the Minecraft content creator community. And, like I mentioned, wanted to create a similar server to SMP Live and SMP Earth, although it would be more of a chill server for him and his close friends, rather than a chaotic war zone. If you were to ask one person what they knew Dream for, they would likely give you one of two answers: his infamous face reveal, and the Dream SMP.
I've seen a few threads going around. I just wanted to address.
I do want to address something. I saw a clip going around on Twitter.
Also, I saw a load of a couple donations saying about lesbian jokes. Yeah, sorry, dude.
Yeah, I've really fucked up as of late.
I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I said two horrible things.
So I wanted to talk about the clips of where I said that I wasn't, that I don't vote and it doesn't affect me.
Meant no offense there.
And it's a clip where I make like very offensive and stereotypical jokes about Asian people.
So there's a thread going around that I have supported bad people.
If it upsets the lesbians for me to make lesbian jokes, or just anyone, yeah, mans will stop.
I was not old enough to vote.
In my last apology, which some of you may have seen,
The Dream SMP is admittedly a topic I would be honored to dedicate an entire video to. I would unfortunately be lying if I didn't admit to being obsessed with the Dream SMP in 2020 and 2021. And although I'd love to go over quite literally everything and explain the ideas, the rise, the fall, and the unmatched eternal legacy of this SMP, that's an entire story for another day, if my audience would allow me. What matters now is that the Dream SMP would mark the beginning of very frequent streams from George and Dream, to the point where they practically lived on the server. 4 days after the server's creation, George would end up texting Dream's mom live, leading to a rather amusing exchange. Dream's mom would end up welcoming George into the family.
She messaged me and said, "Nice to meet you, welcome to the family." What?
And all of the DreamNotFounders of the world were celebrating late into the night. In May, their popularity would rise, as it always did. Since the creation of the Dream SMP, more and more people would become invested in the lives of its members. Dream and George would continuously flirt on Twitter, playing into the fan base of shippers they were now very well aware of. May 17th, 2020 would be the very day I would discover the existence of Dream, his friends, the Dream SMP, and DreamNotFound. One of our longtime friends here on the channel, my buddy Dex, sent me a confession telling me that they shipped 2 YouTubers together. I was curious, so naturally I asked who. I had no idea what rabbit hole I was getting myself into. It wasn't long before me and all of my friends were infatuated with Minecraft YouTubers, especially when all of us were off school and had more than enough time to do practically anything. Going forward, almost all of these interactions and occurrences will be ones I vividly and unfortunately remember. 3 days later, May 20th, we'd see the first instance of the get in the bed joke, in which Dream demands George to, well, get in the bed with him.
Alright, get in the beds, hurry. There's only one bed. Get in the bed!
On June 8th, a saga that would last over 2 years would begin. For those who don't know, Dream lived in Florida while George lived in England. In order to travel to the United States from a foreign country, you need an American visa, something that George didn't have. Dream revealed on a stream this day that George had been trying to convince him to marry him so he would be able to acquire the visa and travel to America to visit Dream. This moment would be yet another fan to the shipping flames, both for the fact that George would, once again, joke about marrying Dream, and because it was more than obvious now that these two intended to meet up. On June 28th, Dream shared his favorite memory of the year so far, being a memory he shared with George. July would bring about many changes to the Dream fandom, mostly revolving around Dream's interactions with his friends. Dream was in an incredibly lucky yet incredibly dangerous position. While he first rose to fame due to interest in his content, people began to not really care what he did as long as they got to see him interact with his friends. People were absurdly invested in his personal life, especially considering Dream was one of his only friends to not have his physical appearance public. Dream was able to get paid for doing literally nothing, but at the cost of his audience being infamously parasocial, hateful, and downright dangerous at times. On July 4th, Tom Yennett would join the Dream SMP, practically single-handedly ending the idea of it being a chill Minecraft server for friends. On July 12th, Wilbur Soot would join the SMP. Wilbur Soot would go on to ask Dream out on a pizza date, to which George would respond by making protective tweets. On the 13th, Dream, Wilbur, and George would all fake a meetup by posting pictures of Wilbur and George together and pretending that Dream had been the one to take and post them. All the DNFers rejoiced, although many also debated the legitimacy of the meetup. It wouldn't be until months later when Dream would admit to the entire thing being faked. On July 22nd, Dream and George would fight on Twitter, each trying to get their respective hashtags trending. Hashtag Dream Supremacy and hashtag NewtNewt. Dream ended up winning. On July 24th, Maya, or MXMToon, would make a tweet claiming to simp for a Minecraft YouTuber. Chaos would ensue when people began to tweet at DreamNotFound and encouraged him to give the tweet attention. George responded by actually flirting with Maya, and Dream was heartbroken. Don't hit me up. Any e-girls or e-boys, hit me up, not George. Just blocked a woman, feeling good. Just made a man block me, feeling great. Get him, queen. George and Maya would go on to continuously flirt with each other, and Dream would jokingly respond in a very hostile, distressed manner.
Dream, I love you in your video so much. Hope you have a nice day and recover from George's disloyalty. I know. I cried, at least for an hour, but it's okay. I got over it.
Although the three of them would make it clear that they were all playing around and all found companionship with one another, there were people who were genuinely aggressive and upset towards Maya for daring to get in the way of their beautiful, sacred yaoi relationship. On July 31st, they would host one of the first roleplay heavy streams on the Dream SMP. By this time, people such as Tommy and Wilbur had been on the SMP for a few weeks, and things were starting to become more story-driven. People started to differentiate the real-life streamers and the characters they played on the SMP. Because of this, a large influx of people would start to ship these characters rather than the actual streamers and YouTubers, as they saw it as a way to treat them more like fictionalized characters. This stream took place during the first ever major arc on the SMP, the L'Manberg Independence arc. It was pretty much just one big declaration of Independence Hamilton musical roleplay, where a bunch of British people revolutionized against Dream and his team. Dream and George were practically each other's right-hand men, and with the Dream SMP at its absolute peak, many quotes shared between the two became iconic in their relationship.
Okay, don't make me get Tubbo in here, Ninja. Don't make me get Tubbo in here. Don't make me.
August is honestly what I would consider the calm before the storm, or I guess just the pre-storm to the storm. The month was still full of many important moments in DreamNotFound history. God fuck, I cannot believe those words just came out of my mouth. However, the month following it would give birth to shipping fuel never before conceived by man. On the first, Dream would come forward and say that he and George were not dating, to which George replied to jokingly.
Me and George are not like dating or anything and have no plans to, so it's not like if any girl unless.
The next day, the pair would host a public call in which they were the only two speakers and have what fans would affectionately title the DreamNotFound sleepover. On August 8th, Dream would tweet out that his most liked reply would be read like one of his intros. Tommy in it would end up having the most liked reply, and as such, Dream would have to oblige.
This video, we coded it so that I am in love with George Not Found. I love women and also George Not Found. I hate MXM Tune. My name is Dream and I'm a bitch. Also, Tommyin is the man and the best. I love gaming and girls. Gamer girls. PogChamp. I hate everything.
3 days later, George Not Found would hit 2 million subscribers, and the pair were extremely grateful for each other. The next day would be Dream's birthday, a momentous occasion. The next 2 weeks would go on as usual, with the pair teasing each other back and forth and, of course, fueling the audience immensely. On August 23rd, George would hold auditions for his own feature on the popular Twitch game show Love or Host, formerly known as the Rochler or the Rochlorette. The show was essentially an overplayed dating game that featured any popular streamer or YouTuber who was willing to come on. The audition stream would narrow down who would be competing for George on the actual episode date, and during the call, both Dream and his fans were demanding for him to be invited. And he was soon allowed on.
Chat is saying interview Dream, but I don't know if Dream wants to be interviewed, so.
You want to be interviewed?
Do you want to?
Hell yeah.
I will be interviewed. I will take it.
Dream would immediately proclaim his love for George, stating that his heart would be his, and making a multitude of jokingly romantic and sexual advances towards George, even referencing the crafting table, an inside joke within the community.
Well, all I can let you know is I will take him to the crafting table, and that's all I really know.
Later in the same stream, Sapnap would join and proclaim his own love for George, leading to him and Dream having a mock argument over George's love.
No. I've been in love with George far longer than Dream
Fuck
has.
off, Sapnap.
Listen here.
George is mine. Go away.
It's just like
it was very obviously all in good fun, a way to make the audition livestream more interesting, considering how much DreamNotFound interactions tended to boost views. August would end with a moment many people in the community considered iconic, a moment in which George would show unusual excitement at the revelation that Dream was wearing gray sweatpants.
I'm just chilling. I'm wearing like sweats and a t-shirt, a white t-shirt.
Gray sweatpants?
They are. And they're they have the
Send me a picture.
No.
It's more than obvious by now that DreamNotFound's popularity was massive and ever constantly on the rise. Each month, the ship would accumulate hundreds of thousands of new fans, and the two would play into it to a degree unseen. Not a single person, however, could have possibly predicted the horrors that would be unleashed in September of 2020. A single person's actions would increase the pair's popularity tenfold, and it wouldn't be Dream or George or any of their streamer friends or anyone with much of a platform at all. It would just be a humble fan, a fan interested in creating something to pay homage to the comfort they received from the two content creators. This was nothing unusual. Hundreds of pieces of fan art, fan work, fanfiction, and even fan cosplays were created for Dream and the Dream SMP every single day. Yet this piece of fan-created work would go on to represent the entirety of the DreamNotFound fandom. I'm not sure I can think of an instance of a fan-created work surpassing the source material in popularity other than this. And if you were around in 2020 or 2021, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Yes, I'm talking about the most popular fanfiction on Archive of Our Own ever. The fanfiction about two gay YouTubers that managed to influence the global music charts to the point where the song it's based on is inescapable. The one, the only.
I like young girls. I like them 15, 14.
I cannot possibly do justice the irreversible impact that the Heatwaves fanfiction has had on both the internet and the real world. This song was everywhere in 2021 because of this fanfiction, and this fanfiction alone. Okay, probably not alone, but it's proven that the Google search terms for Heatwaves rose significantly while this fanfiction was at its peak. You have seen Heatwaves content, I am absolutely certain. You've seen fan art, you've seen quotes, you've seen people talking about it, maybe you've just tried your hardest to catch up on some good old fanfiction like the little freak that you are. But Archive of Your Own has been down for the entire day because hundreds of thousands of Minecraft YouTuber fans are flocking to the site to get their daily intake of DreamNotFound injected into their veins like heroin. Heatwaves has changed lives. It's defined a fandom, a generation, a band. But what is Heatwaves? What happens throughout the text? What is the full Heatwave story, if you will? Don't worry, never worry, because whether you like it or not, I am here to answer those questions. Heatwaves is described as a popular Minecraft YouTuber RPF fanfic by TBH You're Lame, also known as Dakota, inspired by the song Heatwaves by Glass Animals. For those of you who are normal, RPF means real people fiction, the tag for fanfiction involving, well, real people. Heatwaves consists of 51,000 words and 12 chapters, first being posted onto fanfiction website archiveofourown.org on the 20th of September, ending its run on January 12th, 2021. The fanfic's description reads as follows. Dream has always held a gentle admiration for George, but when their nuanced friendship trickles into his sleeping mind, he awakens to a new world of conflicting emotions and longing. Lost in the midst of a heatwave, he continuously listens to a song that works itself into the very core of his heartache. Flirtian nights, unsent messages, spiraling infatuation, and terrible, terrible weather. The fanfiction begins with a note from Dakota asking for people to not share the fanfiction to content creators or it will be deleted. I'm sure you're already aware of how that ended. I'm not going to read out this entire thing because I can assure you this video would be quite literally 6 hours long if I did, and my computer can't handle that right now. As such, I will only be summarizing each chapter and giving my general thoughts as I read through them. I did read the fic when it originally came out, but I practically forgot everything that happened, so I'm pretty much just going in blind. The first chapter, titled Moon Jellies, begins with Dream zoning out while he's on a stream with George and Sapnap. The stream promptly ends, and Dream apologizes for complaining about how hot Florida is for most of the stream. The three get off a call, and before going to bed, George sends Dream a song that he recommends called Heatwaves by Glass Animals, a not-so-subtle jab at Dream's current climate situation. Dream goes to bed and dreams of a beautiful lagoon in Florida he used to go to as a kid. He and his mind's version of George watch the beautiful sight and discover some moon jellies before teasing each other and beginning to flirt. They end up sharing a passionate kiss in Dream's subconsciousness before Dream shoots awake. Chapter 2, Checkmate, begins directly after the first, with Dream questioning his strange nightmare of sorts. Dream takes a cold shower in order to get his thoughts in order, and decides to listen to George's song recommendation. He quickly realizes that he finds an odd sense of relatability within the lyrics, his mind drifting to his close relationship with George. After his shower, Sapnap asks him to get on call, and Dream obliges, hopping on to VC with Sapnap, George, and Bad Boy Halo. George starts streaming and Dream sends him a photo of a sandwich, I guess, but the chat teases him saying that it's a feet pic. George responds saying that the sandwich looks good, but he bets Dream looks better. This flusters Dream and Sapnap yells at the two for interrupting their very important stream. Sapnap and George are in the middle of a Minecraft chess game when Sapnap begs Dream to distract his opponent so he can steal a victory. Dream blurts out during the stream that he had a dream about George, and the stream chat immediately starts teasing him. The chapter ends after the stream when George tells Dream he's had a dream about him too. Chapter 3, Fairness, begins with Dream pestering George about his own nighttime fantasy. Dream flirts with him too hard, so George disconnects and then the two start flirting on Twitter because it's too damn hot in Florida and George likes Dream when he's sweaty and suffering, or whatever. Dream spends a lot of the chapter just noticing his own feelings for George, and it would be sweet and cute and silly and feet-kicking inducing if it wasn't these two creatures. Dream starts listening to Heatwaves yet again to make the song's importance more known, however this time around he's interrupted by George calling him. George tells Dream about his dream and also calls him Clay, which confuses me because Dream isn't referred to as Clay throughout the fanfiction, so why would he have his name but not go by it in his own mind? Whatever. George confesses that in his dream, George gave him a kiss on the forehead, and Dream decides to send him a sneak peek of his face, showing off his jawline in an attempt to fluster poor DreamNotFound. George gets embarrassed and dips, and the chapter ends. Chapter 4, Mirage, begins with Dream on the road, driving to and stepping out on the beach, thinking about George, and then falling asleep for 2 hours. Apparently he drove all the way to Miami, and he embarrassingly admits to Sapnap that he had a dream in which he kissed George. Dream confides to Sapnap and, in a way, to himself about his newly discovered feelings for George. Sapnap suggests that George may want him too because of something he had said before, but Dream's phone dies before he can hear it. George texts Dream to check up on him, and Dream shows off his highly descriptive hands because, for some reason, the fandom has always been obsessed with the concept of Dream having these slim, veiny, gross hands, and it's so gross to me. It's so gross. Maybe I just don't understand. I'm not here to judge. I'm not here to judge anything, I'm just saying I don't get it. George sends Dream a picture of him, and I hate reading this, I hate it, I really do. The chapter ends with Dream inviting George to visit him in Florida. Chapter 5, Plunge, continues from the last, with George claiming that he'll have to think about Dream's offer. He seemed unusually anxious, and Dream pesters him about why he seems reluctant now to visit when he had seemed so excited about it in the past. He seems to get flustered, saying that he's afraid of what may happen, probably just implying that he's also in love with Dream, but their conversation is cut short by Dream's excitement at sudden rain. Dream starts to vent about his relationship with the beach, saying he would go there with his dad before his father left him. I have no idea if this is accurate, to the real world. If anyone actually knows Dream's family situation, please let me know, because I would honestly find it really fucking funny if people were just headcanoning this man to be fatherless. George eventually agrees to go visit Dream under the condition that Sapnap comes with them. The three agree, and we are blessed with my favorite line in the entire fanfic. Should we tell the subs or keep it a secret? This line is incredibly relatable to me, as I say this all the time when I discuss my top secret plans with my YouTuber buddies. The three of them go on a stream with Carl, and Dream's power goes out. George calls Dream, and when Dream goes to George's stream, he's wearing a super attractive hoodie. Oh my goodness. Dream flirts with George so hard that his talking privileges are revoked, leaving the both of them alone as Dream can no longer be heard by George's stream chat. The chapter ends with Dream calling George's smile cute, telling him he liked it in the photo he sent him, and George asks him if he really did. The 6th chapter, Darkness, has a warning for more sexual themes. I'm currently at work taking my break reading this, so if my boss catches me, you'll know why I've stopped uploading. Okay, obviously I wrote this in the past, but I want you all to know that my boss did not catch me. And I'm okay, and I'm still employed. Dream continues to flirt with George intensely, attempting to make him blush as much as possible while he's on stream. He ends up going too far and embarrasses George into ending the stream by delivering one of the many iconic quotable lines of Heatwaves. A very big reason as to why Heatwaves skyrocketed in popularity was because it was objectively very quotable. These iconic moments and quotes were featured in a multitude of fan art, fan comics, and even just being quoted in tweets to this day somehow. One of these quotes in particular is far more significant than the others, you'll know it when we get there. Right now, however, Dreams has one very important line of dialogue.
You need to be kissed, George.
He murmurs, throat raw.
So hard that you can't remember your name. Maybe then you'll understand what I mean.
This part, I didn't even write a script for it because this is what I wrote, okay? This is exactly what I wrote, alright? There's a little screenshot of it. So they have a conversation, like George gets really embarrassed and he ends the stream, and then Dream, he tells Dream, he says like, I think the exact quote was like, you just wanted to watch while you were like turning me on, and I can't do this. I can't do that. Oh my god. But they have a very intense conversation, and then Dream hangs up because his head is spinning, and then they start texting, and Dream's like, he sends like a photo, and then they flirt, and George goes to bed, and then Dream he diddles his little pickaxe, his little Dream. I don't know. I don't want to do this anymore. Hey guys, so editor Quinn here, or like checkup editor, polisher editor Quinn here. My editor ran into a problem with the audio, so Chasington's voice just starts playing completely out of sync here. And there are two reasons why I decided to keep this in. One, I'm not gonna do that to my poor editor having to fucking export an hour of audio and video all over again. And two, I find it really fucking funny, so I just wanted to clear that up. Yeah. During this flirtatious exchange, we get yet another one of these iconic Heatwaves quotes. This one, however, is far more impactful, the big one of sorts, to the point where these words are enough to strike fear into anyone who was around at the time. And these words are also still quoted every single day, whether ironic or unironic. I don't think you know yourself,
You're
Drew,
back!
George says. After a moment,
you're back!
He quietly adds,
You're
Your
back!
voice sounds like fire. It
When did you get home?
His head spins.
When did you get home?
You melt me, George murmurs. The next morning, Dream discovers his power has returned, and he gets a call on his home phone from Sapnap. Sapnap tells him that people on Twitter are losing their minds and are trying to cancel Dream. Oh no! There's like a line that's like, he's like, Dream, they're trying to cancel you, and then Dream's like, happens every other week, doing, because they assumed that he and George were in some kind of fight. So George tweeted out that everything was fine, but that he was going to take a break from streaming and online content for a bit for personal reasons. Dream is confused and texts him to ask about it, and George says he's going to call him to talk about it. George explains that he has to go visit his grandparents for a week, however, they live on a farm, which means he won't have connectivity and won't be able to contact Dream. Dream is very saddened by this, and after talking to George and Sapnap for a bit, 2 tickets to Florida are purchased, and their meetup is confirmed. Congratulations to me for making it to the end of this chapter, and double congratulations to me for reading it in a public tea shop. I wish you guys could have seen my face, oh my god. Let us move on to Chapter 7, Feathers. The chapter starts off with Dream having yet another dream with George in it, in which George finally arrives at their house and they kiss, I guess, I don't know. Dream wakes up and we learn that it's been 2 days since George went off to the farm. Dream stops trying to text George, instead making a page on his notes app to write confessions to George in. He writes about how his constant dreams are affecting him, and how he feels haunted. Dream starts streaming a speedrun, and Sapnap joins his call. The two hang out for a bit, but it's clear that Dream is much too depressed to do much right now. He gets off stream and Sapnap texts him to check up. Dream confides that his feelings for George may be going beyond just dreams, and Sapnap lets him in on a secret, telling him something that George said. Dream frantically leaves another confession in his notes, this one reading, "I know what you said." The chapter ends on a cliffhanger, the audience not knowing what Sapnap sent. At this point in time, at the tail end of 2020, the Heatwaves fanfiction was massively popular within the community. The creator could have never predicted the popularity of their work, and especially could have never predicted the fan base that their own fan work would garner. There were people who genuinely enjoyed Heatwaves and its characterizations of real people more than they enjoyed the actual people themselves, and the creator was concerned, to say the least. In every single chapter uploaded, the creator explicitly stated that if people were to spread the fic to the actual content creators, they would delete it. It was very apparent that they were anything but comfortable with the real-life counterparts of Dream, George, Sapnap, and anyone else mentioned in the fic discovering and even reading it. However, I'm sure you know that if the Minecraft YouTuber fanbase loves doing one thing more than anything else, it's breaking explicit personal boundaries. In November, people would begin to try their hardest to introduce Heatwaves to these content creators. As far as I'm aware, on the 20th, someone donated a Sapnap stream to explain the fanfic to him. I can't currently find an archived clip of this, but I can find people discussing it. George and Sapnap had read the fic, and Dream was aware of its existence. People would continuously re-upload the work on other websites despite Dakota's wishes, as they would state that they wanted the fanfic to be strictly contained to archive of our own, hence why the fic was account locked in the first place. For people who aren't familiar with how AO3 works, so normal people, an account locked fanfiction is a work that can only be accessed if an account is created. To create an AO3 account, you need to receive an email which can take up to a few weeks upon request, and this email is very likely to get lost in spam or other flooded inboxes. For a fanfiction that the majority of users couldn't even access to be so popular was practically unheard of, and despite Dakota's best efforts, it didn't seem like anything they could do would extinguish the fire they've started. The work's popularity would spread even farther. Making it out of AO3 was only the first of many game changers. In November, when Dream and his friends had first mentioned the fic, Google search terms for Heatwaves skyrocketed, and as such, the Glass Animals song that the fic was heavily inspired by would see newfound popularity. In January of 2021, the song earned a spot on Billboard's Hot 100, and would go on to be the longest charting song of the Hot 100 ever, surpassing songs such as The Weeknd's Blinding Lights and Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You. The song was a slow burner, coming out in June of 2020, but not getting immense popularity until, well, despite the fact that it could very well be a coincidence, I honestly wholeheartedly believe that this fanfiction is massively responsible for the explosive popularity of the song. One look at the YouTube comment section on Heatwaves is enough to solidify just how intertwined the song was with Minecraft YouTubers at its peak. The fanfiction went on a brief hiatus between Chapter 7 and 8, leaving many people anxious to know what would happen next, and even more people afraid that the work would be entirely abandoned. Despite all the chaos, however, Chapter 8 of Heatwaves would see the light of day, beginning with a note from Dakota. Okay everybody, let's do this. I started this fic just for my own fun, not expecting anyone beyond the 15 to 20 original commenters to see it, let alone the content creators involved. But I get it. This is the internet, stuff is spread like wildfire and I should have seen it coming. It's been passed around everywhere I look. I've had my inbox flooded with the kindest, most supportive messages about my writing I think I'll ever receive. I'm beyond grateful that I could reach your lives in this way. This was my plan, to finish it, all of it, and then decide if I should keep uploading. I love you all. All I ask now is that you stop spamming stream chats with Heatwaves related things. Stop referencing it in donations. Stop berating others for liking it or not liking it. You, as a reader, have a responsibility to be respectful not only to the creators, the author, and each other, but to the Minecraft YouTuber community as a whole. The content creators already know, and don't care. So, screw it. The hiatus was over. Chapter 8 of Heatwaves, You, immediately establishes itself to be far more artistic than previous chapters. Days have passed since the ending of the previous chapter, and it seems that Dream has practically disappeared from the internet since. He hasn't been online, he hasn't been posting or streaming, and he hasn't even been speaking to his friends. Dream opens his messages with Sapnap and scrolls to the previously sent message, and the audience finally gets to discover what was said.
Alright, I didn't want things to get messy, he wrote, but it seems like you're hurting right now, so this is all I have. The night before we did the chess thing, I was on call with George, and we were joking about something you'd said about his face cam earlier that day. He made a comment that he's glad that stuff doesn't bother him anymore. And when I asked him about what that meant, he said he used to have some kind of feelings for you when you guys first became friends? He was very clear with me that it was a short thing that went away completely, and that he's happy it did. We haven't talked about it since. A couple days later, you told me the stuff that was going on in Miami, and I just didn't really know what to do. I thought you might want to know. I'm sorry if this is shitty and I just made matters worse. Are you okay?
Sapnap had sent after a few minutes of radio silence.
Dream? Did I fuck up?
It took Dream 4 hours to respond with,
Okay.
Okay?
Dream spends a while reflecting on his relationship with George, even going back to watch clips from the stream in which he had been flirting with George in an attempt to fluster him. Dream's mother calls him later on, telling him that Sapnap had left her a message and that he was worried. They start talking about Dream's dad a little, and before long, Dream tells his mother everything. His mother tells him his sister misses him, and Dream asks her to tell his sister he misses her too. Dream continues to write confessions in his notes app, a flurry of emotions unleashing within. And hey, I get it, okay? My notes app holds only my greatest secrets as well. In an impulsive state, Dream copies and pastes everything from his notes into George's messages. George, however, appears to have gotten back from his trip, and sends Dream a message saying hello. Dream, relieved, starts to delete his message. But uh-oh, silly Dream accidentally presses send, oh no! Chapter 9, Throne, picks right up from the last chapter. Dream panics and calls Sapnap, who hasn't heard from him since he sent Dream that message. Dream tells him everything, and Sapnap attempts to calm him down. The next day, Dream appears on a stream and plays on the SMP in an attempt to calm himself down. After some time, George joins the call, and the others ask him to get on. George, however, explains that he's not here to play, and then asks Dream if he can talk to him, alone. The chapter ends. Let's move on to Chapter 10, Dust. We are in the final stretch now. This chapter is where things get serious, so please allow a dramatic recreation from me and Chazington.
You're back!
I am.
When did you get home?
2 hours after I got service. You weren't picking up your phone. I had to join that call, so I knew that you'd answer me. I need you to explain whatever the fuck it is that I've been staring at on my phone since this morning.
It's all there, George. What needs explaining?
What needs... Oh my god.
I really missed you.
Dream, I'm trying to do this. Don't make it difficult, please. Just explain this. I'm not crazy, explain it.
Can I listen to your voice? For a moment? Please, tell me about your trip, and then we'll talk. Is that okay, George?
No.
No?
I can't believe you. I really, really can't believe you. We don't talk all week, then the second time back you slap me with this confession? Hate letter?
Look.
No, you think that somehow I'd want to talk about my trip? That you deserve that much? I don't understand you. Maybe I should just fuck everything up. Fuck you. Fuck you.
I just wanted to talk to you.
You want a distraction. I'm not gonna give that to you.
I know you're not happy with me right now, but...
Of course I'm not happy, Dream. You wrote me this bloody mess and then ignored my calls all day. How else do you expect me to be feeling?
George... Fuck.
Surely you thought about me, right? About how I'd feel, reading it and having to try and figure it out on my own. You had to have thought about how I feel. How I felt. You know how I felt. You know what I told him, so why?
I got lost after he told me that. I don't know. I started writing notes to myself that I didn't mean to send you, and it was an accident. I'm sorry.
It doesn't sound like you were writing to yourself.
I know. I'm sorry.
Please say something else.
George, I'm fucking terrified right now. I don't even know where to begin.
Pick somewhere.
It's not that easy.
Not that easy. Then why did you send it?
It was an accident.
Oh, an accident. Yeah, okay. The least you can do is own up to yourself.
I have. Trust me.
Just say you hate me.
I don't, George. You don't believe that.
What else am I meant to believe? Why would you write such angry things to me?
Because I've been thinking about you nonstop, and I can't remember the last time I felt this way about anyone.
Felt what way?
George, some part of me needs you.
But I haunt you and hurt you.
Yes.
How could you want someone who does that to you?
You're worth it. Every second of it. You live in me, George.
When we met, I was so enamored by you. Everything you said, everything you did, every time you so much as talked to me or said my name. I wanted to make you laugh. I wanted to be with you every second of every day. And you looked right through me. So I grew up. And we grew close. And I got to know you as, well, you. Stupid and bold, extremely loving, kind of a maniac. But I got over it. Then we started changing. I held you at arm's length, but then you learned how to spin me. And it was fun and exciting. Some part of me realized I still... What am I supposed to do with this now, Dream? Why are you doing this to me now?
George, I didn't.
What do you expect me to do? To let myself go back there?
It's different this time.
How?
Because I see you now, and I want this.
Do you? What is this to you, Clay?
It's...
Can't be a life partner, right? Couldn't be that, could it? Yeah, I heard about that. It was when I was starting to feel a bit better, too. Not so sick to my stomach anymore. I can't tell if any of this is serious to you, or just some lonely game.
I lied.
You... what?
I was scared of how much I wanted. It knocked me down, George, and I lied. I was just trying to get away from it because I've seen how it can end. I saw it with my parents, but you... I want you in every way I can have you.
You aren't joking?
God, no! Really, no!
How long have you not been joking for?
A while, but I started to let myself around the time with the chess stream.
Oh.
Did I miss you?
It's not that easy, Dream. I am going to kill Sapnap.
Not if he kills us first.
I was looking forward to talking to you the second I got back, you know. All week, everything I saw that was pretty or thought of that was funny, I meant to tell you.
I'm sorry.
It rained when I was there, Dream. I wasn't sleeping well, and it woke me. The grass was all dewy. I laid in it for a while. It kept raining, and I kept missing you. I felt safe in missing you, and then it's 6 in the morning, and you've sent me something that's just dangerous. You normally know when to stop, but this... I thought you cared more than to do something like this.
Please, let me explain. I care so much, it's killing me! When I said I've never felt like this before, I meant it. I can't eat or sleep or think straight when it comes to you. It's like I have to breathe... What? I have to breathe you in to keep... What the fuck? It's like I have to breathe you in to keep my head on right. I'm obsessed with you. So when you told me that I might have missed your feelings so fucking close to mine, I hate that I've hurt you. I hate it so fucking much. I know I felt it even back then. I wish I could go smack some sense into my old self for being such an idiot. I've been such an idiot, George. I'm sorry. That came from such a dark place. I wish I didn't have to find out like this. I would have done it all so differently.
How would you have done it differently?
I could have sent you a nice letter. Hell, I would have even handwritten something if I knew that this...
What would be in the letter? If I could even read your handwriting.
This is fucking stupid. A daily log of everything Patches does by the hour, or the amount of times I burnt my mouth on food because I know that makes you happy for some reason.
Just wait for it to cool. You're so impatient.
I'd have written about how much I wanted to hear you smile. Just like that. Tell you how much I miss seeing it. How much I want to kiss you. Like I have in my dreams.
You dream of that?
All the time.
What are we supposed to do, Dream, at this distance with our different lives?
I don't know. Do you?
I think this might be too much. I think it's too much.
What do you mean? What does that mean?
Dream,
Are you over me? Is that it then? You're not even gonna try. You're calling it.
No, that's not what I just don't want to lie to you. I know how important honesty is to you.
Then tell me.
I have so much for you. I can't explain it. It's like, it's bigger than me, and I taught myself how to deal with it. I was okay dealing with it. This is just so fast. So much has changed, and my head is hurting. You said it too, that you're angry and undone. Because of me. I don't think I'm ready for that, for you. I'm not ready for you. Are you there?
Just give me a second.
Okay.
So, you still have feelings for me?
Of course I do.
But you don't think it's a good idea to
be anything more than friends.
Fuck!
Okay, hopefully you liked that performance. Smiley face, thumbs up. The two share some heartfelt feelings, and the chapter ends with George solidifying that his rejection isn't a rejection, but more of a not yet. If you know me at all, which, again, you don't, you'll know there's one thing I love more than anything. Some good old toxic yaoi. This chapter infuriates me because I actually would probably enjoy the argumentative dialogue and classic case of misconception if it wasn't being delivered through two real-world grown men who play Minecraft and sell $50 plushies to their parasocial audience of children. I love my toxic yaoi. I need my toxic yaoi. Please, someone get me actually good toxic yaoi recommendations. Reading this fic is angering me. We are now at chapter 11 of 12, Negotiations. We are almost through, boys. As the chapter title would insinuate, the two discuss where to go from here. Neither of them seem to want to stop talking to each other permanently, but should likely stop talking to each other one-on-one like they have been, and should stop flirting. Dream brings up their meetup and George says he still wants to go, but needs time still. Sapnap joins the call and George asks Dream to deafen. Dream complies, hearing George briefly yell at Sapnap for telling Dream about his confession before the audio cuts off. Dream undeafens and Sapnap yells at him for telling George what Sapnap told Dream. The three talk some things over and George once again says he'll think about coming along to Florida. We now enter the 12th and final chapter, July. This chapter primarily serves as the falling action of the fic, with the previous few chapters being the climax of sorts. Dream talks to his family a bit, Dream gets a therapist, Dream texts George about his therapy session, and George responds with, "That's poggers!" Most of this chapter is just Dream, George, and Sapnap talking and dicking around with each other, and after a while, George says that he's going to go through with the trip to Florida. Heatwaves, the fanfiction that broke the internet, ends here, with George telling Dream that he'll see him in 6 weeks. Heatwaves, much like the Dream SMP itself, has a truly unmatched legacy when it comes to fanfiction and fan work in general. Hell, June 15th, the middle of June, is to this day regarded amongst the community as DreamNotFound Day. So, happy belated DreamNotFound Day to all who celebrate. I know I do! Despite being account locked, it was the second most popular fic on the entirety of AO3 before being taken down, only being surpassed by an iconic joke fic told from the perspective of Groot that just says, "I am Groot," over and over and over again. The fanfiction was infamous with people who didn't even like Minecraft YouTubers. Upon Chapter 10's release, there was so much traffic on the website that it actually stopped functioning. The AO3 Updates account refused to acknowledge a single work for this influx of users, but there was no hiding the honest and horrifying truth. Dream even sent a response to Dakota, encouraging them to continue with their creative work and complimenting them. Despite the fic's overall stupidity nowadays, just because of the people it's about, it's genuinely, in my opinion, a really solid read. It doesn't take a conventional fanfiction approach and doesn't fall into traditional formatting, leaving off on more of a will they won't they rather than a happily ever after. While yes, I did make audible noises of distress reading through this, there's a good reason it resonated with so many people upon its release, and it truly stands as a product of its time. It's no surprise that this work would be continued in the form of a sequel. Dakota would begin work on a continuation to what is widely regarded as the most influential piece of fanfiction of all time, this time the title being based around another Glass Animals song from the same album. Helium. After years of online calls, late-night texting, and out-of-sync sleep schedules, Sapnap and George finally visit Florida. Dream's aspiration to truly know himself is met with the return of missed chances and uncertainty. Placed in the dead center of his humid, overwhelming life, he and George are bound to confront the inevitable. This fic was planned to have 17 chapters, however, only 14 were ever made before it and its predecessor were deleted off the website. Yes, Heatwaves and Helium were taken off Archive of Our Own in January of 2023. Dakota would provide a statement about the deletion. Hi all, I wanted to post an update just so you know. I did take down my work from IO3 recently, and I'm sorry if this causes mixed feelings for anyone. I enjoyed writing for a while, but my interest just tapered, and even in the past couple months, since I mentioned putting it all on hiatus, I've felt like I've wanted to make a clear decision on whether to continue it or not. For me, having the fic still up meant there was always going to be a temptation to complete it, but that's not what I want anymore. I'm not trying to erase it from the internet, Lord knows that'd be impossible, but personally wanted to not leave the option open, if that makes sense. AO3 was a big part of my life, but since that's changed, I wanted a bit of closure, and no malice or hurtful feelings were going through my mind when I finally got around to clearing out my account. I really am grateful for everything this community has done for me, and I'm sure other uploads of it exist out there, so it's nowhere close to being gone forever, if you still want to read it. I did think it over for a long while, and as my friends know, taking it down was always floating around in my mind from pretty early on. I don't anticipate uploading stories for any fandom in the future, but thank you for your support and joy all this time. It has been crazy. Helium, despite being likely forever unfinished, is massive. It stands at a whopping 136,823 words. For context, this video so far has been roughly 10,733 words long. I love you guys, but I also care about myself, and as such, I'm not gonna read this one. If this video does exceptionally well and people ask for it, I can absolutely make a follow-up going over Helium, but I'm tired and we still have 3 other iconic unrelated fics to go over. So, why don't we go ahead and move on to those? DreamNotFound's popularity was, as we've just discussed in length, greatly raised by popular works of fanfiction. Many works became iconic and memorable, known to many who were frequent in the fandom. I have personally compiled 2 of the other most popular fanfics, as well as a very special short fanfic that was specially requested by my friend. Hi, Milo. Let's start with that special request, shall we? With You is a 5-minute read posted onto Wattpad by Mouse Purgatory on May 2nd, 2020, predating all of the other fics on this list. This fic, to put it bluntly, fucking sucks. It's been 4 years and I still have no idea if this was written as a joke or not. While not as genuinely iconic as the other fics I'm going to talk about, it was honestly just really funny and was very frequently joked about. I have no idea how or why people started finding this, but it is a true gem of media. Please allow me to read some to you. Come downstairs, Dream's mom yelled. I can't, I'm busy playing Minecraft, Dream yelled back. That was a lie though. He was not playing Minecraft. He was busy doing YouTuber things. Dream is a YouTuber. That means he likes men and women. Dream has known that he was not straight YouTuber for some time now, but he kept it a secret from his friends and his parents because his parents are homophobic. Dream was hungry and decided to go make some toast. He took out the bread and butter and put it in the toaster. He was YouTuber and hungry. He waited for the bread to turn crisped and brown. The golden glow and ticking of the toaster oven warmed his face. Dream traced the outline of the bread above the glass with his finger, careful not to touch the burning oven. Dream could not wait to eat his meal. Dream ate his bread because he is not gay or straight. Dream was YouTuber, and because of this, he was awesome. Dream logged onto a single-player survival world and pulled out his diary in Minecraft. He wrote, "Today I am YouTuber and proud. Today I made awesome YouTuber toast." Dream is YouTuber, and today he decided to paint his room the YouTuber flag. Dream did not have any paint, so he decided to mash up a bunch of brightly colored fruits and smear it on the wall. He squished blueberries with his fingernails curling into the blue-colored berries. After they were all over his hands, he began to slam his palm against the wall and shout and yell and scream as blueberry juice suffocated the canvas. Ah, I am YouTuber. Ah, I like men and women. Ah. Dream's parents do not know he is YouTuber. He has kept it a secret from them because they are homophobic. He was YouTuber, which meant he likes men and women. Dream does not have any friends. Dream does not have any friends at all. Dream was always too YouTuber to have friends. Dream liked men and women. Some would call him a YouTuber. Dream had a little George living in the corner of his room. George had 3 legs and has grown so plump it was incapable of moving itself very far. Because of this, he remained in the foot perimeter that Dream designated as his corner. Dream did not name this George. George had not named Dream. This George was the only one who knew Dream was YouTuber. Dream did not mean for anyone to find out in case his homophobic parents who hated YouTubers would find out. They also hated George. George was introduced to this side of Dream when Dream tried to kiss George. Dream had to tell George that he was a YouTuber. George did not respond to Dream. Dream does not know if George can hear him because he is colorblind. That's all I'm gonna read. There's not much left to say here. Moving on, the next work I'd like to talk about is a fanfiction known as Dear Dream, a one-shot posted by Kyekyo onto AO3 on October 11th, 2020. As much as I'd love for this fic to be Dear David but with Dream, it's not. Dear Dream revolves around the idea of DreamNotFound set in World War II. You heard me correct. I remember when this fic first came out, it had everyone in the community sobbing. Despite how popular it was at the time, however, I've actually never read it. Well, until today. As I mentioned, this fanfiction is a one-shot, meaning that there's only one chapter, and it's a self-contained storyline. Despite this, it's still a decent size, lasting for 19,000 words. The fic begins with Dream and George meeting each other in a library and bonding over a shared interest in poetry, specifically Irish poet and playwright Oscar Wilde. George finds a note in one of the books, and Dream explains that sometimes he leaves notes in books he likes and writes down lines of poetry he enjoys. After meeting for the first time, the two start to meet up together frequently at the library. They start to leave notes for each other within books, and one day George finds a piece of poetry lodged within a book that reads, "I like books, you like books, why don't we start writing the story of us?" Dream admits that the note was from him and hands George some flowers before asking him on a date. Much like the majority of Heatwaves, this would actually be really heartwarming if it wasn't, well, you know. But I can definitely see my 2020 self kicking his feet and giggling right now, and I try my hardest to keep him happy, so whatever. We move on to summer, where George's mom announces that the army is drafting again, and George worries he's going to get drafted into World War II. However, his parents assure that they would never let him get drafted. However, they're worried as they reveal that Dream may get drafted into the war. George's parents advise him to stop speaking to Dream as they fear the misery he may feel if he gets killed. George insists that he won't, yet the next day, Dream gets drafted and the two are miserable. The pair promises to send each other letters every day, and we get to see one of these letter exchanges sent in spring. This is obviously where the title of the fic comes from, with the two signing off with stuff like Dearest Dream and Dear George. We time skip to autumn, switching to Dream's point of view. It's revealed that Sapnap also got drafted, and his name is also just like, it's just Sapnap, like, okay. The people in the army start reminiscing about the people waiting for them at home, and Sapnap asks if Dream has a lover. Dream pretends he's in love with a girl and tells Sapnap about George, but Sapnap reveals that he saw one of the letters and knows he's in love with a man, but doesn't care. We love a supportive king. Back with George, his parents have found a woman to marry George off to. George is furious and refuses, but the father of the woman he's married to comforts him and explains that it's for the safety of his daughter, and he accepts that there doesn't need to be any feelings between the two. George sends Dream a letter explaining that he's accepted a union, but he loves and adores Dream with all that he is. In the winter, Dream sends George one last letter before Frontline, saying that he doesn't need to wait for him, and that he's free to love anyone else. In the summer, Dream tells George that they're choosing people from the trenches to bring back home, and that he may return home to George soon enough. George goes to wait at the train station amongst hundreds of people, however Dream doesn't show. Meanwhile, Dream gets shot in battle. We time skip to the end of the war. George is still waiting and writes dozens of letters to Dream in his absence. While he's gone, Sapnap visits him. Months go by until George gives up. He goes to the library to cry, however Dream shows up. Oh my god, whoa! They kiss, and it's beautiful and gay, and wow, I shed a tear. Seriously though, despite some historical ambiguity, this fic is actually really well written, to the point where I'd probably be obsessed with it if it, once again, wasn't about Minecraft YouTubers in World War II. The last fanfic I'd like to talk about that I feel impacted a lot of people is Flowers from 1970, written by Astronomica and published January 8th, 2021, finished on April 9th. It has 22 chapters and is roughly 30,000 words, shorter than Heatwaves, but slightly longer than Dear Dream. Admittedly, I didn't see this one floating around nearly as much as the others I've spoken about, but upon doing research for this video, I discovered how popular this fic is. I believe there were even like some physical copies printed and sold, but I can't find any place selling them. If anyone watching this for any reason manages to own one, I'd love to be able to see it. I remember there were a bunch of Minecraft YouTuber fanfics that just got physical releases somehow, and I saw multiple people at school and stuff who were just like casually reading them. To this day, I wish I had their bravery. Flowers from 1970 takes place in an alternate universe inspired by the horror film The Call, and the plot revolves around DreamNotFound communicating with a boy from the past from an old telephone. Immediately, I'm obsessed with this fic as the first conversation is about Governor Schlatt's death like it's American history. Never changed, Dream SMP fans. Anyways, yeah, the fic starts with George receiving a call from an unknown number talking about how Schlatt died today. However, Schlatt died in 1970. How strange. George says that Tubbo was going to face an attempted assassination the next day, and the next day, Dream calls asking how he knew. They learn each other's name, and they pretty much just easily accept the fact that they're from different time periods. Dream also discovers that George lives in his house, but in the future, so Yeah. The chapters of this fic are pretty short, only lasting a few pages. George discovers a Polaroid of Dream in his house and finds it quite handsome. The two keep talking over the course of a few chapters, and Dream purchases flower seeds in an attempt to somehow send George flowers from 1970. Holy shit, that's the name of the thing. George goes to the flower shop and meets the owner of it, Carl, who has apparently been working there since Dream's time. This next chapter is fucking crazy to me because Wilbur Soot shows up like a fucking MCU cameo, because he's George's neighbor, and he has a 6-year-old son who's Tommy in it. I'm literally losing my mind at how unserious this is.
Tommy in it.
And then Tommy's uncle, Technoblade, shows up, and Tommy's scared of him, and I cannot fucking read this. I'm losing my mind. I guess Tubbo and Nihichu are there too, but Tubbo isn't Tubbo's real name, because his real name is Toby, but he wants to be called Tubbo, because he really liked the historical figure. I can't keep fucking reading this. I can't do it! Okay, I'll skip into the final chapter, because surely it can't get any more ridiculous from— Dream is Wilbur's fucking dad! Are you kidding me? Okay, so I guess Dream dies at the age of 71 in 2020. George calls Dream, but Wilbur breaks the phone because I guess Dream told him to, and yeah, that's it. That's the end. It's like a sad ending. I'm gonna be real, I don't think this was as well written as the others. No hate to the author, of course. I know this was written like 4 years ago, but I really can't take any of this seriously. I'm so sorry. Nevertheless, I'm sure you'll all be more than pleased to hear that I'm done talking about DreamNotFound fanfiction. I'm sure I had no reason to mention any of these fics aside from Heatwaves, and I'm likely just extending this video's runtime for no reason whatsoever, but consider this. I don't care. I love DreamNotFound. I love DreamNotFound. Oh, DreamNotFound. DreamNotFound for life. 2021 was, unsurprisingly, another massive year for Dream and his friends. There are so many iconic hashtag DreamNotFound moments to go over, so please allow me to blaze through a couple of these. Dream mentioning Heatwaves and saying weird stuff to George through Jackbox rap battles. Dream's DreamNotFound corner. This. George and his Dream hoodie. This. The DreamNotFound splash text incident. Screenshots from when Twitter was still cool and put descriptions for trending topics. This. The beginning of 2021 would also be the beginning of Dream's music career, and while his first song released without too much hate, the same couldn't be said about his second song, Mask. We all know how that went. I suck his But while 2021 would be another successful year for Dream, George, and all their friends, trouble was, unbeknownst to them, brewing on the horizon. And there were only so many DreamNotFound jokes that could keep the monster at bay.
Oh, I see it.
Was it coconut?
Make it 19, baby.
Okay. He's like on an island. I know. It's because he's on an island and like.
Disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein has taken his own life while he was behind bars here in New York City.
While yes, Dream has always been disliked by a large amount of people, it would, for the most part, not be for many reasons other than the fact that people thought he was cringe and disliked his fanbase for being so annoying. And as an ex-Dream fan, I can't help but sympathize with this ideology. As I mentioned at the very beginning of this video, the DreamNotFound epidemic would lead to some pretty outlandish consequences, not just for Dream SMP fans, but also for Dream, George, and many of their friends. Being a content creator means that you, unfortunately, are forced to give up many rights as a human being. One of these is associating with controversial people, despite having been close friends with them for years. If one of your friends who may or may not be a public figure says something idiotic, it can end up getting you in serious trouble regardless of whether or not you agree with it in the slightest. And here's the thing with most long-lasting friendships. Most people don't drop someone they genuinely care about because they did something dumb on Twitter. A lot of genuine friendships go through periods of arguments or misunderstandings, and it makes them even stronger. Like I said though, this is one of the many things a creator is forced to give up, specifically a creator in this field. Minecraft YouTuber fans are immature. It's their birthright. As such, a lot of the time people can grow into a mob mentality over literally anything, and it can honestly really discredit actual experiences and actual content creators who are genuinely doing horrible things. Friends of Dream would often be scrutinized purely for associating with him even back in 2020 when his controversies first began. In the 2020 Minecraft mob vote, Dream would see one of his first bigger controversies. For context, the Minecraft mob vote is an official Minecraft event hosted to decide on a new mob added into Minecraft. In 2020, Dream advocated a little too hard for the glow squid, going as far to say he would be following people back who voted for it. When the glow squid ended up winning, people were furious and insisted that Dream rigged the mob vote. While Dream was likely not ill-intended, this incident would show that he didn't really acknowledge or understand his own influence and audience, a horribly dangerous thing for a content creator of his size to do. Despite Dream's multitude of controversies at the time, including cheating a speedrun, previously made racist jokes, having ties to doctors, lying to his audience, and the infamous language police incident. I believe the worst decision made at this time was the decision to actively feed into a young parasocial audience. Whether for malicious reasons or not, Dream was always able to find himself out of any situation by simply tweeting about how he loves his community and even just talking to or replying to a lot of his fans more often than the average creator in his circle had been. DreamNotFound was undoubtedly a result of this, a ploy crafted to engage these types of fans and bait them into loving these real people like fictional characters. Every time they would flirt, every time they would be seen together, their numbers would boost and their influence was spread. If they wanted to trend on Twitter, they could. If they wanted hundreds of thousands of monuments dedicated to Dream and George's gay love story, well, they'd have it. The two relied on each other almost as much as their fans relied on them. But because of this close relationship, if one person slipped up, the other would be dragged through the mud for their actions. Despite this, an incredibly wholesome development was in the works. Through every controversy, through every scandal and debacle, three friends would always prevail, always together. In 2021, Sapnap would make the decision to move in with Dream, moving from Texas to Florida to be with him. The two made it clear that soon enough, George would be joining them in what they would call the Dream Team house. He just needed his American visa. By 2020, many fans would move on to better things, with the most popular creators in the Minecraft field taking a step back or becoming less and less active. The death of a highly regarded figure in the community, Technoblade left a lot of creators and fans alike grief-stricken. I won't even attempt to joke about this, but I see it as important to the overall timeline as many creators took a break after the tragedy. It's been 2 years now, and it still hurts just the same. The tail end of 2022 would be spent hyping up one of the most important moments in YouTube history, the day the mask would fall, and the world would see Dream's face at last, after 3 long years of the creator being entirely faceless. In September, Dream would start making tweets announcing that the time was near, and his friends would all soon start posting reactions to seeing his face for the first time. On October 2nd, it finally happened. Despite many falling out of interest around Dream, hundreds of thousands of people would tune in for the grand reveal, whether they be dedicated fans, haters, or completely indifferent. And to say that the day was revolutionary would be an understatement.
Oh, I'm dropping it.
While Dream's face reveal, mostly for worse, brought him back into the limelight, something spectacular was happening off screen. Dream's face was now public, which led way to the next biggest step in both his career and personal life. It was time for George to join him and Sapnap in the Dream Team house. On October 3rd, only a day after the fateful reveal, George would post onto his channel the DreamNotFound equivalent to Silksong releasing, a video simply titled, "I Met Dream in Real Life." Despite not caring about any of these people today, watching this video now somewhat warms my heart. I feel like it would regardless of who these people were. I will be honest, I'm not a judgmental person, but even then, I do find Dream and his friends very, laughable at times. Despite that, this video made me feel genuine emotion, like the end of a saga, a band-aid on the wound of my 2020 self. As someone who has met online friends and is going to meet a whole bunch of creators in around 2 months, stuff like this always brings a tear to my eye, and I can't imagine how it felt for such close friends to meet after so much time, let alone move in together. But alas, such bliss never stays long, especially when living the life of a public figure. Something else would happen on October 3rd, something that would affect Dream along with all of his friends, and especially George, in ways they could never have predicted. The trouble in paradise.
In this video, I'm going to be very vulnerable, open, and honest.
For those of you who don't know, KTBugs recently did a stream and accused me of something very serious.
For people saying take legal action, do you know the odds of winning an assault case?
You don't understand that you're talking to, like, a Michelangelo my time. My friends, or anybody else, as a scapegoat for your f***ing sexual abuse. My friend cried in my f***ing arms about this, and you were on stream denying it all.
We're going to be getting into some of those juicy, wretched allegations, so be warned. Man, if only I had the editing style of a Turkey Tom Orbiter right now, it would really benefit this section of the video. Hooray! Now, I'm not really good at this kind of content, especially because this entire situation is really, really tricky, so I'm likely just going to speed through a lot of this. I apologize in advance if any of this information is inaccurate or anything. I don't know what I'm talking about, dude. I'm talking about two straight men being in love with each other for over an hour. What do you want from me? On October 3rd, a Twitter user by the name of Anastasia would make a thread about her experiences with Dream. She would talk about how Dream had flirted with her as a minor and would post text messages and videos between the two. At the time, Anastasia was 17 and Dream was 20. A bit later, someone named Amanda would come forward about their experiences as well, making similar claims. There was also a very popular burner account that essentially just lied about someone they didn't know being groomed by Dream. There were also probably dozens of other threads and tweets being used to incriminate him, but I'm not gonna look into all that right now. As far as I'm aware, all of these accounts have either been proven to either lie or just not come forward with any concrete evidence. Don't get me wrong, Dream is a loser. He makes cringe music, he takes cringe photos, he used to be chronically online from paranoia, and he definitely had no idea how to handle a platform until maybe a few months ago. But the amount of people I've seen genuinely just admit to not caring about the validity of allegations because they hate him and want him gone is very concerning. As a victim, I will quite literally never agree with this ideology, and I hate everyone who has ever faked or overplayed an allegation like this out of spite or hatred. The effect that you have on real victims is disgusting. Okay, I'm done being serious. I can't take it. Please get me out of this Turkey Tom Orbiter editing style before. God damn it, there were DreamNotFound allegations too. I don't want to talk about this. I'm so tired. Okay, so basically George was accused of assault and went back and forth with this person who was accusing him, and I guess both of them just kept lying, and now the person who accused him just left the internet forever or something, and I don't think anyone is taking her as a credible source, so, like, yeah, okay. The horrific truth of the matter is that even if George did not beat every allegation, he still cannot disprove the most serious allegation of all, and will forever be remembered as the Tickle Monster.
Cried in my
Regardless of the validity of either of these accusations, it was clear enough that the pair had become so inseparable to a fault. When George was undergoing these very serious allegations, Dream was very distressed and vulnerable, to the point where he would take to a Twitter space and break into tears, acknowledging that George may have made a serious mistake.
I know there's a lot of people that think that I'm so calculated and everything that I do is so planned out, and that I think right now that I'm being manipulative and I'm trying to, I care about just my image but I care about people.
Finally, I'm free! Alright, so if all these allegations are wonky at best, you may be asking, why the fuck would these two continuously flirt with each other in order to manipulate a young audience into engaging with their content more and essentially giving them free promotion through the massively widespread fanfictions and fan content? I have a very simple 2-word answer to this. They're fucking stupid. Oh, oops, wait, that's 4 words, silly me. I really don't think they played into the shipping out of genuine malicious intent. I think they just genuinely found it funny, took the joke too far, and then realized it didn't really matter because at the end of the day, it greatly benefited the both of them and their friends. I think people just need to take into account that it genuinely is their job to be marketable characters, and at some point it's a situation almost envious. If I could get that much money and engagement just by flirting with my best friend all the time, I would be so happy. Actually. I fully expect to be seeing cash rolling in after this one. I really can't think of a proper closing statement to end this video off on. DreamNotFound will always be a hilarity to me, and I think taking it super seriously is really fucking funny. I probably always will. Despite the benefits it's given to the two straight men involved, the consequences are impossible to ignore. The fact that this dumb ship was able to bleed into the real world to the degree that it did was absolutely insane. And while I'm sure Dream and George have no regrets in the success their teasing has given to them, Dream has made it apparent he's not comfortable with people making this ship their entire personality, and genuinely taking it to an absurdly serious degree. And there have been hundreds of thousands of people who did just that, many of them still alive and kicking. I've been seeing a lot of DreamNotFound art recently while doing research for this video, and a lot of it is genuinely really adorable and creative. I'm sure neither of the content creators involved have issues with that kind of stuff, as it really is more of a character thing than genuine speculation, but I will never agree with the freaks who are taking this shit way too seriously, despite the fact that I find it really funny. Dream, George, their friends, and the Dream SMP SMP will forever go down in infamy. If you found this video interesting at all, please let me know, and comment down below if you would be interested in seeing a full Dream SMP retrospective of sorts, because this video was really, really fun to make. And it really is only the tip of the iceberg in terms of hilarities, allegations, shipping culture, and the horrifying effects of fan culture in general. I ask that you all be respectful, and if there are any modern-day Dream SMP fans or DreamNotFound fans watching this who are genuinely respectful people who know the differences between fictional characters and real people, I think you are seriously f***ing awesome, and you should keep doing what you're doing without supporting the problematic people involved in the Dream SMP. If anyone bullies you in the comments of this video, I will fight on your behalf. Cringe culture is dead. Embrace that shit. Happy Pride Month, everybody. I've been quinnamon, and don't forget to stay safe, stay smiling, and above all, stay shipping DreamNotFound. I need you to sing a dream song right now.
Wait, what?
Right now. Right now.
Wait, what am I doing?
I need you to sing a dream song.
Fucking what? Okay,
Like sing Mask.
Okay. I wear a mask with a smile for hours at a time, stare at the ceiling. Fuck. I eat my normal I don't remember the song.
No, it's okay. Do you want me to sing with you?
Yeah, sing with me.
I wear a mask with a smile for hours at a time, stare at the ceiling while I hold back what's on my mind. And when they ask me how I'm doing, I say I'm just fine. And when they ask me how I'm doing, I say Alright, that's good, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
this is really important. Bye bye, I love you.
Okay, bye.